In December 2021, I got my Apple Watch Series 7, and for exactly 2 whole years, I used it as my main Apple Watch. Now that I've upgraded to the Apple Watch Series 9, I'm going to say my final thoughts on the Apple Watch Series 7. The first thing I want to say is that this watch was great. I never had to take it in for any service, and it's never had any repairs. But with that said, it was not flawless. The two issues that I had with it were the battery and the microphone. The battery health started to degrade in late 2022 pretty badly, and in 2023 it got as low as 80% before being replaced by the Apple Watch Series 9. At the end of my usage with this watch, it lasted about 20 hours on battery with absolute minimal usage and the always on display enabled. This was a big issue as I was not really able to get a full day out of this watch with extended usage. My second issue came from the microphone. In April 2023, I noticed that the main microphone used for Siri, phone calls, and voice dictation no longer functioned. This issue is pretty big for me as it effectively made one of the main interaction methods for my watch useless. This issue was never resolved even after resetting it and multiple software updates. I didn't take it into Apple because I felt it would be too much hassle for what it's worth, because I knew that I was going to be upgrading at the end of 2023 anyway. I had a lot of small software issues with this watch as soon as when I got it actually, most relating to installing apps and the Home app not responding whatsoever. That was really annoying. That issue no longer happens on the Series 9. I made a full video on this in January of 2023, but it wasn't enough of an issue for me to do anything about because I knew Apple couldn't fix that at all because it was software related. And I didn't want to upgrade to the Series 8 because I didn't really think that was going to fix the issue, and I doubt it would. But the Series 9 did. I have a feeling that does have something to do with the new on-device processing features that the Series 9 has. The display surprisingly has no visible scratches, although the fingerprint-resistant coating wore off sometime in 2022, and it showed fingerprints in dirt extremely easily. In late 2022, I polished the stainless steel for the first and the only time. This didn't give me the results that I wanted, so I didn't attempt it again. But if I had a Dremel or a buffing tool, I'm sure that I could have done a much better job, but it doesn't matter all that much to me because it's just going to get messed up again. Somehow the display didn't crack though. It's even been scraped and banged against many things such as the floor of a pool, the sidewall of a pool, hardwood flooring, drywall, and many other things. The enclosure has normal wear such as scratching, although there are no heavy dents or heavy marks on the stainless steel. I got the silver stainless steel though, which tends to be the color that actually ages the worst because it's just raw stainless steel from what I've heard. It doesn't have any coating like the graphite and gold ones do. And I'm going to mention that I wore this watch every single day from December 25th, 2021 to December 25th, 2023. I didn't miss wearing this thing a single day, and that's something that hasn't really been the case for my Series 2, Series 4 Apple Watches, but this watch I did not miss a single day with. As for processor speed and general OS responsiveness, this watch was good for the first year, but around the last 6 months of using it, the watch got somewhat slow. Apps took longer to load, things would fail more consistently, and I was becoming somewhat disappointed with the performance. I didn't expect too much out of a smartwatch, but it was definitely becoming slower than it was when I got it, and it wasn't getting any better. Since upgrading to the Series 9, I have noticed a big speed improvement. When I got the Series 7, I got the Milanese loop with it, and then I used the Sport Band for a while when the Milanese loop got somewhat uncomfortable and inconvenient to use. Then I bought the Leather Link band in September 2022, and from then on, I used that as my main watch band on the Series 7. The Leather Link band was one of my favorite watch bands that I've used, as it was extremely comfortable, it had great adjustability, and it looked decent, I'd say. I was planning to get the Leather Link band for my next Apple Watch before Apple discontinued their leather products and replaced it with fine woven. I don't really like the material that fine woven is made out of. It looks cheap and it feels cheap in my opinion. But I think leather looked much better. The long-term durability of the leather band was decent, although 13 or 14 months in, the band started to fall apart somewhat. The leather is pretty worn out, but it doesn't feel damaged. The color also faded from a dark blue to an even darker, almost black color. The band, while still functional, is in extremely used condition. One of the issues that I had with this band was that when I was in pools, it would sometimes fall off. Luckily, I caught this when it happened every time, but on multiple separate occasions this happened. When I first got the band, it also fell off just while using it, and it fell off twice out of nowhere, I believe on the same day, like 2 days after I got it, and it slid right across the floor. Even with these issues, I really enjoyed the comfort of this band and would still continue to use Apple leather bands if they continued to sell them, but of course, Apple doesn't sell leather products anymore, unfortunately. One note on that, I don't care if it's real leather or not. Apple shouldn't have replaced it with fine woven, as, in my opinion, the two materials are not comparable. Apple could have done some sort of fake leather. As long as it looks good and feels good, I don't care. I just don't like fine woven. That's just my personal opinion there. I know a lot of people do. If somebody does, that's fine, I don't care. It's just not something that I would wear every day on my watch. There were 3 reasons why I wanted to upgrade to the Apple Watch Series 9. I'm going to go over this next. One was the age of the Series 7. I don't like to keep my devices longer than 2 years, as that's what I believe to be the expected lifetime of a tech product. And I think that 2 years is the right amount of time to get a good upgrade, but not keep an aging product for too long. I was having some issues with the microphone at the end of my time with this device too, so it made sense to upgrade at this time. My second reason was just design, as the Series 7 was 2 years old, and I wore it every day since then. I wanted to change the color in specific, so I got the Graphite Series 9. I liked the color change, as I was starting to get kind of tired of looking at the silver color. I still like the look of the silver Apple Watches, but it was getting a bit old to me after 2 years of using it. And my third reason was the battery. 80% battery health on a smartwatch, which didn't have a long battery in the first place, so the battery degradation was becoming a big problem. Seeing how bad it was at 80%, I didn't really want to have to deal with this watch going down below 70% in the next year, so upgrading was my best option because I also didn't want to deal with Apple's service program. Why not just get an upgrade while I'm at it? The Series 7 was a great watch for me, and I enjoyed owning it and using it throughout the past 2 years. But now that I've upgraded, I'm having a great experience with the Series 9. I could definitely say that the Series 7 was one of the best Apple products I've ever used, and it's probably the longest time that I've kept a main device that I've used every day. As for my thoughts on the Series 9 so far, it's been great. I really like the dark profile of this watch and how it blends in with the display, and even though I'm now using the Milanese Loop band, I think it does look really nice, even though it is less comfortable than the Leatherlink band. The battery life has lasted really well, as I'm ending the day with about 50% battery instead of less than 20% on my Series 7. I'm also enjoying the performance gains in being able to use Siri and voice dictation on my watch again, and another benefit is that the Home app actually works now. With all that said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video was entertaining or helpful. And I do have some more Apple Watch content on my channel if you'd like to check that out. But with all that said, goodbye.